Hello everyone, I'm Love here, back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be creating a guide on the new legendary hero that was introduced in the game, and the hero is Desdemona, that you have a chance to obtain her at a 300% rate. But it's not a guaranteed rate, it's the one for applicable for Halia at the 400 summon. Once you summon at 400, it's only guaranteed for Halia, but not Desdemona. Alright, without further ado, let's get started on the Desdemona review. Alright, so this is Desdemona, where her character animation shows that she tries to catch the nimble puppet, and the puppet was laughing at her because she couldn't catch him. Then she was so frustrated that she need to use her magical ring that shoots a stream of light, light and string to attach to the puppet. So now the puppet is controlled by her right now to do her bidding. So that's basically her character animation. And taking a look at the 360 degree on her character design, is basically like some sort of like a blonde lady, a young, looks like a Barbie doll of some sort, with a cool dark gothic dress with a emerald, is it emerald or cyan? Cyan spade that is stitched to her fringes of her dress here. Then her puppet also wears some sort of a similar theme with a very sharp razor cyan claws to slash her enemies. So since she doesn't have equip any weapons, right? What she does is she orders her puppet to do the fight on her behalf. So yeah, so that's basically her character design. And let's quickly go over her stats here. She has an S rating for speed, A rating for attack and health, B rating for defense and critical rate. So she's like some sort of like a debuffer supporter hero for your team. And looking at her base attack stats, right, she doesn't really seems like a damage nuker. Usually damage nuker will have around about 1400 to 1600 attack stats. So she seems like a mid tier uh, a damage dealer. But let's not judge on her attacking abilities. Maybe she has a unique way of dealing damage to her enemies, although her attack stats is pretty low. Let's start off with a unique trait, which is known as the Nightmare. Active ability casts apply Nightmare that cannot be resisted to the primary target for 1 round and will not trigger counterattacks up to 1 time per round. So this means that whenever she uses her basic ability or her ultimate ability, it will instantly apply Nightmare to that particular target within that round itself. So if she tries to perform another attack, then that attack, right, will not apply Nightmare. It's only for the first time for that particular round. So let's say if the battle lengthens like round 1, round 2, round 3, right, it will always refresh. So every round, she'll be able to crowd control at least one enemy with the Nightmare ability. And you do not need to build any focus stats in order to use this Nightmare unique debuff. And this one will not trigger counter attack. So if you try to crowd control a strong damage nuker from the enemy team, such as like Garrel or Efroni, then they will not nuke out Desdemona because she's pretty squishy. And I think that's the reason why the developers added this condition, because they don't want Desdemona to get killed instantly from those damage nukers. And what is this Nightmare negative effect? It's basically is to prevent them from moving actively. It says unable to move actively. So when an enemy is crowd controlled with this Nightmare, right? When the enemy receives their turn or gets their turn, right, they will forfeit their turn. Alright? And they will lose this Nightmare upon the round has ended. Alright, so let's quickly understand what this Nightmare does, right? So the enemy with this Nightmare debuff will not be able to move actively, means the opponent will not be able to control them. When an enemy attacks targets other than this unit will launch a joint attack with the basic ability. This unit basically this Nightmare target. And it basically means that it will launch a joint attack against its own against his own ally. But this one is not always the case. after I've extensively tested Desdemona. It only works for certain heroes in the game. Uh, most consistently is for single target damage nuker, but heroes like uh who can perform AoE attack like Brand the Brilliant or Beran, right? They will attack your heroes as well. So this one is like a double-edged sword as well. So you need to be really careful on who to target this nightmare ability. And the second unique part of this debuff is part of the damage received by the applier will be redirected to this unit. This effect is removed when the applier is dead. So you can use this nightmare, right, to make them as like a mid shield. So let's say if someone tried to attack Desdemona, who is pretty squishy, 50% of the damage, right? I'm not sure why the Ace developers did not say the percentage, but I guess the based from observation, right, it's around about 50% of the damage. Uh, 50% of the damage is mitigated to the enemy that has this nightmare. So yeah, so basically the mid shield will soak up some of the damage. Basically, you can use this as like a kamikaze, where if they try to nuke Desdemona, even though she get killed, right, the opponent will also receive massive amount of damage as well. And for this nightmare, right, you can unlock her second ascension by reaching the ascension 2. So what this ascension 2 means is it will allow her to gain one bonus turn when the enemy with the nightmare debuff dies. Alright, so that's basically conclude the nightmare, and I will demonstrate how you can use this nightmare, what are the side effects of it in the battle. And looking at her basic ability, Shadow Erosion. So this is her single target damage ability that deals 120% damage to one enemy, applies no positive effect to them for 2 turns, and reduces the ultimate ability cooldown by 1 turn. So yeah, so this one allows her to cool down her spirit sacrifice quickly so that she can spam this ultimate ability more frequently. And how to use this effectively is against enemies who loves to apply positive effect on them, such as like Hayim. Let's say like Hayim or Brand the Brilliant, if they receive like a fatal hit or close to a fatal hit, right? Then they will get this unkillable buff. Then you want to prevent that from happening. You use Desdemona to apply this no positive effect on them, then you can instantly kill them in one hit. Alright. And then for her for her passive ability known as the Vindictive, when attacked, which means that when Desdemona is attacked, if the attacker has negative effect, Desdemona will gain 60% bonus resistance, launches a counter attack with puppet manipulation, which is this ability, and then summons the enemy with Nightmare to launch a counter attack. Basically, launch a joint attack along with this puppet manipulation. So, puppet manipulation is a special ability that doesn't have any skill cooldown. Deals 150% damage to the attacker first, then applies defense down to them for 1 turn, and removes 1 positive effect on them. So, this allows you to maximize the full damage that the Nightmare target can deal to that particular enemy who attacked Desdemona. And finally, Desdemona ultimate ability, Spirit Sacrifice, that has a 4-turn skill cooldown, deals 150% damage to all enemies, and applies silence that cannot be resisted for 1 turn, and unhealable for 2 rounds to them. So basically, the Ace developers design it quite nice, where they apply silence. Silence basically forces the enemies to only use their basic abilities. So this prevents the opposing side from using their AoE nuke on Desdemona that can kill her instantly. And she also applies unhealable. So if let's say if you are having trouble with heroes that likes to heal themselves like Metasia, Clarence, Efroni, that has this some sort of like inbuilt mechanism to like heal themselves with like with ability to heal up themselves through the lifesteal, then you can stop them from doing so. But this one you need to have some focus stats on them in case if they have very high resistance stats. But this one is not really necessary because most damage nuker will not build themselves with really high resistance stats. Usually it's around about 60% or 70% for the damage nuker, but supporter enemies might have like 100 to 150% resistance. Alright, so far as we can summarize from Desdemona abilities, right? Her Nightmare debuff does not require any focus stats. However, her no positive effect as well as the unhealable requires focus stats. Silence also does not require any focus stats at all. And to have some good news, Desdemona, which is a dark hero, every dark hero will gain 30% focus stats on the base. So basically, she has an additional 30% focus advantage against other RGB or other heroes in the game. Alright, so that's basically her abilities. And yeah, to conclude, right, her abilities mainly fine-tuned for arena, like 1 versus 1 arena, 3 versus 3 arena, or the real-time arena. She also can be used as a hero for dungeon, but she's not really used for speed farming. She can be used as a temporary placeholder if you're a early to mid game player, but as you progress to late game, right, she will be more tuned for arena. So let's say, right, if you're like an early to mid game player, right, and you do not have any like good heroes to apply unhealable, you just slot Desdemona in that areas. Areas that needs unhealable would be like the Ruffle Flood, where you farm the water ability, water hero abilities. Then you can also use Desdemona in the Queen of Tides because Queen of Tides have a right tide guard to heal the boss. You can also use her there. And you can also use her. Maybe you can also use her for the Ash Magistra because Ash Magistra also heal himself up. And you can also use the flame use against the flame lizard to crowd control with the nightmare ability. Alright, so that's basically her abilities. And let's quickly go through the gears to see how I gear Desdemona. So basically I'm gearing her with a triple raider set that provides her with a 45 additional speed to basically to go because I plan to make her go first, crowd control an enemy, then have my other heroes to perform the attack so the enemies will join attack along with my hero. If that really makes sense. Yeah. So yeah. So let me quickly go through the equipment stats here so you can get the feel of what stats to prioritize. Oh yeah, let me give you the overview of the overall stats here. So basically, I just build her as fast as possible. So currently with my leftover gears, I achieve around about 283 speed on Desdemona. And I believe you can make her even faster with the ascension, the first ascension, with the 15 speed, and also more speed once you provide her with the mastery books. So if you see her ascension here, right, the first ascension will provide 15 speed. Then on the second ascension, you'll be able to benefit from this extra bonus turn when the enemy nightmare dies. The third one will be like basic attack, basic defense, basic health, and the usual health attack defense boost. And let's quickly go through a masteries first. So masteries, you can also benefit from additional speed, like from here to the physic mastery, right? They'll provide you an additional 15 speed. Usually for the damage nukers, right, they will gain like the what's it called 30% or 20% critical damage. But as for her, right, she doesn't really do much damage. That's why the developers thought that speed up buff would be much more better for her. So you can make her even faster there. And then you can even build up more speed with this gear mastery effect from the random step up for the hit, neck, and hands. And then for her abilities, basically, true strike rate, yeah, she doesn't really do much damage, so you do not need to build her with critical rate. And basically, her speed to health basically improve her survivability. Alright, so getting back to the gears, right? So let me quickly show you the gears. So this one has speed and focus. For the helmet, there's focus and health. This one has a triple row and focus. So besides just giving her some focus, so she will be able to benefit from the unhealable as well as the no positive effect. And as usual, speed boots. Then basically you want to get as much rolls on the speed here. So this one is like health ring and health necklace. Her glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. Alright, so let's see her in action. Alright, so for our first arena battle, we have Lightning, Divine Yolanda, Nero, as well as Ruff. So mainly the arena defense team, the main damage nuker will be Nero, and he'll possess a real threat to our team, which means that I'll use Desdemona to crowd control the damage nuker to help me assist to take down the other allies as well, especially the hero at the back unit, the Ruff with his barrel, because he's able to soak up a lot of damage from his allies. So with the help, with the assistance of the enemy's Nero, right, we managed to like break Nero and put him into a barrel state. So now we have already taken down two of their most dangerous unit, the Divine Yolanda, who can prevent revive, and Nero, who can perform an AoE nuke. What I'll do here is to provide a bonus turn to Desdemona to crowd control their lightning to assist me in breaking that the rough shield, which is in the barrel state there. Then once the enemy have only one surviving unit, then it'll be quite easy to take on. Do take note that even though Desdemona can crowd control that particular unit, you still need at least one damage nuker who is capable to take down that last enemy or the last standing enemy in the arena defense. Otherwise, you'll be in a limbo state where you cannot take down the enemy unit due to maybe he has a massive amount of healing, and then you go into multiple rounds, and then you get the lightning effect damaging your team. Alright, so for the second team, we have a speed nuking team, which consists of Lightning, Halia, Natalia, as well as Garnet. So currently, they have a strong damage nuker, Garnet, so I'll be making use of their Natalia, which is much faster compared to their Garnet, so I'll use her instead. So because Natalia have a unique ability to deal multi-target attacks like here, which helps to assist to take down their own squishy damage dealer, as well as dealing some damage to the supporter heroes, which makes it easy for my damage nuker to take them out all at once. Alright, so this is the second battle. For the third battle, I'll be facing the enemy team of Corrupt Aura, Shaxo Andre, Dark Hazard, as well as Holy Armor Virgil. So since they have a lot of dark units, right, I'll use Desdemona to apply the Nightmare to Holy Armor Virgil to assist me in damaging all of their dark units, because light units will deal 50% more damage to these dark enemies here. So Baki attacks Corrupt Aura, then Holy Armor Vigil deals some attack to lower their health low enough so that my Baki can deal the finishing kill with the roller bomb there. And the dark units are all focusing on my Lightning because basically he's the big affinity against dark. Same goes vice versa, where dark units are weak against light. So now I'm trying to take down their Dark Hazard, but the Dark Hazard is protected by the Shield of Mercy, and he managed to revive his allies. So now my lightning is down, but I can revive him with the last breath to deal some damage to these enemies here. So seems like both of these units have death immunity. Maybe I just like take down their Shark Soul Andre first. Then I'll finish the Holy Armor Virgil. And do take note that Dark Hazard is pretty annoying because he can have this death immunity, and in order to counter his ability of high survival, what I'll do is I'll crowd control Dark Hazard with Desdemona, so he cannot revive his allies to do more damage to my heroes here. So that's one way to use Desdemona. Alright, so this is another use case where you can use Desdemona as like a mid shield to take down their tanky enemy unit. So currently the enemy unit highest health will be Ashlyn, which is protected by shield buff from the gut set. So currently my single target damage nuker isn't able to take down Ashlyn alone. So what I do is I use Desdemona to apply the Nightmare on Ashlyn. So all the damage dealt by the enemies on Desdemona will be transferred to Ashlyn there, around about 50% of the damage dealt. So once the damage has been transferred, then Bucky is able to one-shot Ashlyn with the roller bomb easily, leaving Andre alone after the roller bomb has kicked in to destroy Alicia, Divine Yolanda, and Ashlyn there. Alright, so that's one way you can use Desdemona as like a mid shield to transfer some damage. Here is another arena battle where I demonstrate how to use Desdemona as like a mid shield, so that whenever the damage nuker deals damage to my Desdemona, the crowd control enemy unit who is crowd controlled by the Nightmare ability will also receive damage. So as you notice, Desdemona crowd control their Dark Doom Valeria. So all of the damage dealt is transferred to Dark Doom Valeria, and then she gets killed there. So you can use this to take down the damage nuker as well. So let's say right now Holy Armor Vigil has the highest health. What I'll do is I will crowd control Holy Armor Vigil. Then I'll be able, because Holy Armor Vigil is pretty difficult to kill in one shot. If your damage nuker is not strong enough, he'll be always healing himself. So what I'll do is I'll crowd control the Holy Armor Vigil, and if the enemy tries to deal massive amount of damage to Desdemona, he will also kill Holy Armor Vigil at simultaneously, which ends the battle really fast. So that's how you can use Desdemona to win the battle here. Alright, so here is another video clip that I recorded on units that you shouldn't crowd control, such as like the Beran the Brilliant or Beran. So let me demonstrate to you what will happen if you crowd control like Beran the Brilliant. There's a Beran the Brilliant has a unique mechanic using the rage mechanism or rage meter. So once Beran the Brilliant reaches the maximum amount of rage, he will deal damage to the target. But it will also deal massive amount of damage to your hero as well, because it's an AoE attack. So this is like it's really bad. So ideally you want to choose or select the enemy unit that does not deal random attacks or deal like AoE attack like what you saw just now with the Beran the Brilliant. You want to target the unit that perform like single target attacks. Alright, so this is another one where I try to use Desdemona to crowd control Garnet. And what will happen is Garnet attacks, right, will somehow jump like a chain lightning, something similar to how Erosion works. So let's say if I use Bucky to attack Ashlyn here, Garnet will attack Ashlyn, but the balls or the spheres, right, will also attack my unit after attacking Ashlyn. So it attack Desdemona as well as Bucky there. So this is another unit that can perform these random attacks, random like jumping attacks there. Alright, so let me show you another one, something similar to Garnet. And this is the last battle, and now this time, what I'll do is I'll use Desdemona to crowd control Beran. So Beran has an ability to attack an enemy unit as well as another random unit. So anything that is random, right, will also attack your unit as well. So as you notice, when lightning attacks my Desdemona, the enemy Beran attacks the lightning as well as attacking my hero like Bucky as well as Desdemona there. So let's say if the enemy units, right, is geared in a rebel set, that could potentially stun your units as well, which may change the type of the battle, and the enemy might win in this case. So do take note that try not to crowd control enemy units that can perform like random attacks like Beran, Erosion, Garnet, and Beran the Brilliant. Alright, so now I'm in the No Man's Land dungeon, the Flame Lizard, where I'll be showcasing how Desdemona Nightmare works. So as you noticed, right, the Flame Lizards at stage 10 and 11, the boss will have a unique ability known as the Ultra Sensitive, which provides him an ability to perform 100% lifesteal, which allows him to heal himself whenever he performs an attack, and it also amplifies the damage taken by 50% if he is affected by a crowd control effect, or control effect in this case, which includes Taunt as well as the Nightmare that is That is a unique buff, debuff that is inflicted by Desdemona. So let me show you how it works. And for this showcase, I'll be bringing Desdemona to showcase the Nightmare and at least one damage nuker to take down the boss because Desdemona is not really strong by herself. For the spells, you can choose anything, Smoldering Flame, Sundering Purgatory, or so forth. So let's see this team in action. Alright, at the start of a battle, you meet these 4-5 imps, and that is the ultimate animation from Desdemona, which is pretty cool, where she swings around to use her puppet to deal damage to this boss as well as the enemies here. So as you notice, right, the puppet is attached to the boss, and when the boss takes his turn, right, he's not able to perform any ability. He just forfeits his turn. So this is one of the best ways to crowd control as well as dealing damage to the boss without getting damage instead. Usually, right, for early to mid game players, the most accessible unit will be Chal. Is one of the elite hero that you can use to crowd control the enemy unit. But the downside is, if you use Charles, right, what will happen is the boss will be able to attack the taunted unit, which is like this guy. The boss will still able to attack the taunted unit. So let's see what will happen if you bring in like a Nightmare as well as a taunt. I believe the boss will not be able to perform anything because of the Nightmare negative effect there. So I have already disabled Charles' ability, so he just perform his taunt ability. Let's see if the taunt and the Nightmare debuff has any conflicts or not. So it seems like it doesn't have any conflicts. And it doesn't seem to improve the damage dealt by Natalia when the boss have these 2 debuff applied to him. Alright, so I think you can use Desdemona in case if you have her, if you want to speed farm the Flame Lizard from early to late game. Once you have your damage nuker powerful enough, then you might not need Desdemona or Charles here. Alright, so that's the end of my video showcasing Desdemona abilities in the arena battles. Do let me know down in the comments below what do you think about her performance after seeing her in action. And if you found this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, you can click on the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on this channel. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!